Have you ever noticed how silence grows louder when you're waiting for something you can't control? Like sitting in a doctor's office, the clock ticking softly, the smell of disinfectant in the air, and the quiet hum of your own thoughts. You rehearse what you'll say over and over, but when the moment comes, the words just vanished. It's strange, isn't it? We can talk about so many things, our dreams, our jobs, our plans, but when it's about our own body, our pain, or our fear, language suddenly feels too small. You look for words that can carry what your heart is trying to say, and they just won't come. Maybe it's because vulnerability doesn't speak fluently. It trembles. It hesitates. It hides behind nervous smiles and broken sentences. And yet, those are the moments when communication matters the most, when finding the right words isn't just about grammar, but about being understood. Today, Marcus will face that kind of silence, the one that happens not outside, but inside. A silence filled with pressure, fear, and a single wish to be heard, because sometimes in English and in life, the hardest part isn't speaking. It's speaking when you're scared.
Why does it feel so much harder to talk when you need to? I can speak English just fine until it matters.
What's happening?
I'm trying to think of how to explain what I'm feeling, but my mind goes blank. It's like all the words I know disappear the moment I need them.
That's pressure talking. Fear has a way of stealing language. Tell me what you'd say. Imagine I'm the doctor.
Hello, I feel dizzy? No, I've been feeling dizzy lately. Yes, that sounds better.
Good. Start with that. Simple, clear. You're not writing poetry. You're asking for help.
I've been feeling dizzy lately. And then maybe it hurts when I breathe?
Exactly. Keep going.
It's like my chest feels tight, and sometimes I can't catch my breath.
That's perfect, Marcus. You don't need complicated words. Doctors want clarity, not perfection.
But I don't want to sound stupid. I always worry they'll think I'm just another foreigner who can't express himself.
Do you think pain cares about accents? Or fear listens to grammar? When you're vulnerable, honesty matters more than fluency.
I know, but still it's hard. The moment I open my mouth, I feel exposed.
Try again. I'll be the doctor. You walk in, sit down, and start.
All right. Good morning, doctor. I've been feeling dizzy lately. It started about 2 weeks ago.
Have you had any pain?
It hurts when I breathe, especially on the left side.
Any fever or nausea?
A little nausea, sometimes. And I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like something's pressing on my chest.
Excellent. You see, you can describe sensations without knowing medical terms. Pressure, tight, painful, nausea, those are words doctors understand instantly.
Yes. I guess it's more about being honest than being perfect.
Exactly. Honesty translates better than vocabulary.
But what if I can't find the word?
Then use your hands, your face, or say, I don't know how to explain it. That phrase alone opens space for understanding.
I don't know how to explain it. I like that. It's simple, but it feels human.
It is. It tells the other person you're trying. And that's what communication truly is.
I remember once, I was at a clinic in Chicago. I was fine with small talk, but when the nurse asked, "What seems to be the problem?" my brain froze. I said, "Something's wrong," and she looked at me, waiting. I couldn't describe it. It was like my English disappeared.
Because emotion took over. You weren't just translating, you were feeling. And feelings rarely come with subtitles.
You make it sound poetic.
Pain always is in its own way. Try again, but this time, breathe before each sentence.
I've been feeling dizzy lately. It hurts when I breathe. Sometimes my vision gets blurry and I feel weak.
Perfect rhythm. The breathing helps the words come out naturally.
Yes. It's funny. Even saying it here feels easier.
Because here, you're not afraid of being misunderstood. You're practicing safety, not perfection.
I wish I could bring that feeling to every conversation.
You can. Just remember, when you speak under pressure, your goal isn't to impress. It's to connect.
To connect. You know, when you're sitting there in that cold white room, everything feels so distant. The doctor, the light, even your own words.
But that's exactly where language becomes powerful, when it bridges the gap between fear and care.
Take a deep breath, they always say. But sometimes that's the hardest part.
Then start there. When you can't find words, breathe. Let silence hold you for a second, and the words will follow.
Take a deep breath. It's simple, but it means so much more.
It does. It's both a medical instruction and a human reminder.
You know what's strange? When I first learned English, I focused on perfect sentences. Now, I realize the most meaningful ones are the simplest. It hurts. I'm scared. I don't know.
Those are sentences that build trust. And that's what every language truly aims for.
I guess even fear has its own vocabulary.
Yes, and you just spoke it beautifully.
Olivia, can I ask something?
Of course.
Do you ever feel nervous speaking another language?
All the time, even as a teacher. But I've learned that fluency isn't about never hesitating. It's about having the courage to keep speaking through the hesitation.
That makes sense. I'll try to remember that next time I'm sitting in that waiting room.
And when you do, remember this. You don't have to sound brave to be brave.
That's really good. I'll write it down.
Or just keep it in your breath. Every word begins there. Fear changes the way we speak. It doesn't only shake our voice. It rearranges our thoughts, shortens our sentences, and hides the words we know best. When we're under pressure, our brain moves from connection to protection. It stops focusing on what we want to say and starts focusing on how to survive the moment. That's why, when you're sitting in front of a doctor, your vocabulary suddenly feels smaller. It's not that you forgot English. It's that fear is speaking louder. In English-speaking cultures, especially in the UK or the US, being direct is not considered rude. It's seen as helpful. A simple sentence like, "It hurts here," or "I feel dizzy," tells the doctor exactly what they need to know. You don't need long explanations or perfect grammar. What matters is clarity. And clarity is kindness for both sides. Doctors in English-speaking countries are usually trained to ask open questions like, "How long have you been feeling this way?" Or, "Can you describe the pain?" They don't expect you to sound fluent. They just want to understand you. So even if you say, "I don't know how to explain it," you're already communicating. You're inviting help. Sometimes the best English you can speak is honest English. Words like "I'm scared," "It's hard to breathe," or "I need help" are simple but powerful. They turn fear into communication and communication into care. So, next time you feel your words freezing, remember, fear doesn't erase your voice. It just asks for patience. Breathe, pause, and speak slowly. You're not performing. You're connecting. And that's what real English is made of. You look lighter today. Did something change?
Maybe. I practiced what we talked about, breathing, slowing down. It's strange how something so small can change everything.
Small things often do. How did it feel?
Honestly, scary at first. But once I stopped trying to sound perfect, I started to feel human again.
That's the point. Perfection is pressure. Connection is relief.
You should print that on a mug.
Maybe I will. So, let's try the conversation again, but this time slower, calmer. Imagine the doctor's office again, but now you're in control of the moment. Ready?
Ready.
Okay. You walk in, take a breath, and begin.
Good morning, doctor. I've been feeling dizzy lately. It started about 2 weeks ago.
Good. Keep your tone steady, natural.
It's not constant, but it happens more when I stand up.
Perfect. And if the doctor asks, any pain, what do you say?
Yes, sometimes it hurts when I breathe, especially deep breaths.
Nice. You're describing, not performing.
Yes. I think before I was acting like English was a test. Now it feels like a bridge, a way to reach someone.
That's exactly what language is. A bridge. And you're crossing it beautifully.
You know what helped the most? When you said, I don't have to sound brave to be brave. It stayed with me.
Because it's true. Courage doesn't always sound strong. Sometimes it sounds like a shaky voice trying its best.
I felt that at the clinic. When I said, I don't know how to explain it, the doctor smiled and said, that's okay. We'll figure it out together. I almost laughed. I realized I wasn't alone in the conversation.
That's the beauty of communication. When it stops being you versus language and becomes you with someone else.
You know, I used to think English was about words. Now I think it's about presence, being there even when it's uncomfortable.
Presence is fluency. Being here, being understood. Even through imperfection, that's real language.
You're turning English into philosophy again.
Maybe it's always been philosophy. After all, every word carries a piece of how we see the world.
So maybe take a deep breath isn't just something a doctor says. Maybe it's something life keeps whispering.
Exactly. A reminder that breath comes before speech. Always.
You know, it's funny. I used to think I learned English to get better at work or to travel. But moments like that, when you're scared, when you can't find words, that's when language becomes real.
Real English happens in real emotions. The grammar of fear, the vocabulary of hope, those are lessons no book can teach.
Maybe that's why I like your lessons so much. They're not really about English. They're about being human in English.
That's the secret I've been hiding all along.
So, what's next?
Next, you keep speaking. You keep showing up, even when your hands shake, even when your heart races. Because language doesn't grow in comfort, it grows in courage.
And what if I forget again? What if the fear comes back?
Then you do what you did today. You breathe. You slow down. You remember that your worth isn't measured by fluency.
Fluency isn't perfection, it's presence. I'll remember that.
Good. And if you ever doubt it, just listen to your own voice. It already knows how to find the words.
Thank you, Olivia, for helping me find them.
You found them yourself. I just reminded you where to look. Sometimes language isn't about being perfect, it's about being heard.
And being understood.
Sometimes the hardest English you'll ever speak isn't in a classroom. It's in real life when your heart is beating fast and your hands are shaking. When every word feels heavy and silence feels safer. But that's when language truly begins, not when you sound confident, but when you dare to speak even through fear. Speaking under pressure doesn't test your vocabulary. It reveals your courage. Every pause, every mistake, every broken sentence still carries meaning. Because communication isn't about perfection, it's about honesty. So, the next time your voice trembles in English, let it breathe. Say what you can, not what you think you should. And remember, fluency begins when fear meets understanding. If today's conversation helped you find a little more confidence in your own words, stay with us. Subscribe to English Between Us, where language meets emotion, and every story brings you closer to fluency. There's another conversation waiting for you. It's already on the screen. I'll meet you there.